Hello everyone, welcome to our grammar class. I'm so happy you are here with us today. Before we start, let me introduce our lecturer. This is Tanti Hermagustiana, who teaches this grammar course. We are so lucky to have her guiding us through this class. And now, let me introduce my amazing teammates. There are Fitriani, Belva Zuhura, Melinda Amalia Zahra, and of course, I'm Rosalia. We are excited to learn with you today. Today, we are going to learn about direct speech and indirect speech. This might sound new to you, or maybe you have heard them before. But don't worry, we will explain everything in simple words, so it's easy to understand. This lesson is really helpful because it shows you how to tell what someone else said in different ways. It will help you sound more natural when you speak or write in English. To begin, my friend Belva will explain what direct and indirect speech mean and how they work. So let's begin and have fun learning together.
So first, I will explain about direct speech. Direct speech is a way of reporting someone's exact words enclosed in quotation marks. In direct speech, there is use of punctuation. A comma is often placed after a reporting verb, and the first word inside the quotation marks begin with a capital letter. In some cases, the punctuation may include question marks, exclamation marks, or periods, depending on the context of the speech. For example, Sarah said, comma, quotation mark, I am happy today. In contrast, indirect speech is a way of reporting what someone said by changing their exact words to fit the context. Quotation marks are not used, and changes are often made to pronouns, tenses, and time expression. For example, Sarah said that she was happy that day.
Hello everyone, hi Ocha. How's your day?
I'm good too. How about you?
I'm good too. Actually, I'm planning to visit my grandmother tomorrow. She's been asking me to come for a while.
That sounds nice. I thought you were going to the beach this weekend.
Well, I was planning to, but my grandmother invited me last minute, so I decided to change my plan. Spending time with her feels more important right now.
Is your grandmother's house far from here?
Not really. She lives just an hour away, so the trip isn't too tiring.
That's convenient. I don't have any big plans yet. Maybe I'll just watch some movie or catch up on sleep.
That sounds like a perfect plan too, but I have to get things ready for tomorrow, so I will see you both later. Take care!
Hey, guess what Osha told me earlier today?
What did she say?
Osha said she was planning to visit her grandmother the next day because her grandmother had been asking her to come for a while. She explained that her original plan was to go to the beach, but she decided to change it at the last minute because she thought spending time with her grandmother was more important.
That's so thoughtful of her. Did she mention how far her grandmother's house is?
Yes, she did. She said her grandmother's house was just an hour away, so the trip wouldn't be too tiring.
I'm glad she's spending time with her grandmother. What about Belva? What's she doing this weekend?
Belva said she wasn't planning anything big. She mentioned that she just relax at home, maybe watch movies or sleep more to rest.
That sounds like a peaceful weekend. It's nice to see everyone taking care of themselves and their loved one.
I agree. Osha's excitement about the trip made me think about visiting my own grandparents soon.
Now that we have watched the video, so let's move on to the analysis. We will break down the key points and see how everything works step by step. So let's get started.
When we report speech in direct speech, we often need to adjust time expressions. This is because the time of the event is now in the past from the speaker's perspective. Let's look at this example. The direct speech. Osha, I'm planning to visit my grandmother tomorrow. The indirect speech. Fitri, Osha said she was planning to visit her grandmother the next day. Why do we change it? So the perspective is shifted. In the indirect speech, we are no longer quoting Osha directly. We're explaining what Osha said from a later perspective. And the clarity in this is using the next day helps the listener understand when the event will happen in relation to when Osha spoke. Here is the example of time change in the indirect speech. When reporting speech, we usually shift the tense of the original words into the past. This is because the speech is being reported at a later time. The tense change reflects that the event or statement has already occurred. In the direct speech, Osha, I'm planning to visit my grandmother. Present continuous tense, am planning, is used because Osha is talking about her action happening now, at the time of speaking. Indirect speech, Fitri, Osha said she was planning to visit her grandmother. The present continuous, am planning, changes to past continuous, was planning, because Fitri is reporting what Osha said at the latter time. The tense change shows that the action was happening at the time Osha spoke, but now it is in the past.
Present perfect to past perfect. Osha, she's been asking me to come for a while. Fitri tells me her grandmother had been asking her to come for a while. Present perfect tense has been asking used by Osha changes to the past perfect tense. Had been asking in Fitri's report to May. This change ensures the timeline remains clear and consistent, emphasizing that the request occurred before the reporting time. Past tense to past perfect. Osha, my grandmother invited me last minute. Fitri tells May she explained that her grandmother had invited her last minute. The past tense invite used by Osha changes to the past perfect tense had invite in Fitri's retelling to May. This shift in tense clarifies that the invitation happened before the reporting moment. And here's the example of tense change in the indirect speech. When converting direct speech to report speech, pronouns often change to reflect the new speaker's point of view. First person to 3%. Osha, I'm planning to visit my grandmother. Fitri, Osha said she was planning to visit her grandmother. An analysis in the original sentence, Osha used I first person and my to refer to herself. When Fitri reports the sentence to May, I changes to she and my changes to her, reflecting the shift in perspective to the 3%. Second person to 3%. Osha, she lives just an hour away. Fitri, she said her grandmother's house was just an hour away. In the original sentence, Osha used she second person to refer to her grandmother. When Fitri retells the story, she changes to her, aligning with the 3% perspective in the report speech. Here's the example of pronoun change in the indirect speech.
For the next one is summary of changes. And for the first one is time reference. Words like tomorrow change to reflect the time of reporting. In indirect speech, time reference changes because the context of the statement is being shifted to a different point in time. For example, tomorrow changes to the next day
because the person reporting the statement is speaking at a later time. If the reporting happens on the day of the original statement, tomorrow would no longer apply, so it is adjusted accordingly. And the next one is tense. The tense of the verb in indirect speech is often shifted back to reflect that the statement was made in the past, like present tense changes to past tense and past tense changes to past perfect. These changes ensure that the tense appropriately reflect the time relation between when the statement was originally made and when it is reported. And the last one is pronouns. Pronouns in indirect speech must be adjusted to match the new perspective of the person reporting in the statement. For example, first person, I, my changes to third person, she, her, to fit the subject being reported. The changes in pronouns ensure clarity and consistency in who is being referred to in the new context of the statement.
Great job, everyone! You did awesome learning about direct and indirect speech today. I hope it's clearer now and easier for you to understand how to use them in English. Remember, direct speech is when you say exactly what someone said, and indirect speech is when you change those words a little bit. Keep practicing, and soon you will be using both of them without any problems. Thank you for being here with us today. A big thanks to my friends Fitri, Belva, and Melinda for helping out. I hope you had fun learning. So, see you next time and keep practicing.